Same dirt diamond on the Friday light, play it loud. If this field could talk, it'd tell it loud. If this field could talk, it'd tell you all. Every pitch matters in this town. This is Decatur. This is high. Same route, same faller. Beanball baller.
Daniel Herzog, Truman, Griessel with you on the official YouTube channel for your Decatur Beanballers. And for Beanballers players and coaches, Danville Stadium certainly the Beanballers couldn't quite hold on. The Dans scored 3 in the ninth, 9 over.
But unfortunately the hitters couldn't, and now here in July the Beanballers ERA has risen above 9 runs per game, and while the offense is doing its job, it hasn't been enough to overcome the pitching struggles. And with 3 weeks to go, you're looking in this inaugural season.
In several categories, just the 12th most hits. Their batting average is right in the middle at 11th most in the Prospect League, but it's this pitching staff that's really held the Beanballers in check. Game 1, Decatur only scored 2 runs in the first 9 innings, 4 overall in 11. They only scored 3 runs, but took the game 2 back on June 9th. Decatur only scored 1 run on June 19th, and they'll face a familiar arm from that outing. It was Drake Hoffra who did the middle 4.
They got to be ready to come out and be the aggressor. I feel like that's what they finally saw on Sunday. They didn't let getting down 8-2 phase them. They came back, they were swinging the bats, but we can see at points when a pitcher is handling the Beanballers offense, the aggressiveness goes down. But I'd love to see them just be aggressive 1 through 9, all 9 innings.
Beanballers aren't a lineup that typically strikes out, only 12th most strikeouts in the Prospect League, but you talked about walks are being low for Hoffa. The Beanballers walk the 4th fewest in the Prospect League, but we'll give you the lineup for Decatur. It's Brandon Abernathy leading off in center. Will Applegate right behind him, hitting second, playing second. Jackson Snitko hits third and plays first base. The designated hitter Jackson Miller right behind him will hit cleanup. Brady Grabowski, the big Grabowski, in left field will hit 5th. Moises Fabriette at short will hit 6th. Then it's Chase Weiss, Gage Reynolds, and Jackson Newton to round things out. Once again, that's Abernathy, Applegate, Jackson Snitko, Jackson Miller, Grabowski, Fabriette, Weiss, Reynolds, and Newton. And it's the right-hander Luke Bonstetter on the mound. The lineup he'll face will be Basinger. The backstop will hit 8th, and then Cannon Vandiver will hit 9th and play second base. Once again, that's May, Burke, Palmy, Brady, Saddam, McReynolds, Bays, Basinger, and Vandiver. But last time these two teams met, the last day of June,
Decatur could easily win the 3-game series. Granted, all 3 games are here in Danville, but again, it starts from the jump. You've had a day off after one of your best wins of the year, arguably going down toe for toe with that 11-inning thriller against Du Bois County in the 11-10 win against the Lafayette Aviators. But it's just about consistently playing good baseball because the bats are coming along, like we said. Now, can the pitching come along? Even though arms are short right now, the boys are ready, the Beanballers are ready.
Yeah, so again, like Truman said, these are 2 teams that'll face each other a few more times, but that's not for a while. It's today on July 14th and then July 28th, 2 weeks from now, and then the last game of the regular season, August 1st, again right here in Danville between these 2 teams. It's a Central Division Eastern Conference matchup, and the Beanballers certainly need some wins to get back in that race. The Dans need some wins to stay in that, and then there's a little bit of a gap. Springfield Lucky Horseshoes at 4-7, Du Bois County Bombers at 4-8. And then at the bottom, the Decatur Beanballers at 4-10. They got the victory on Sunday, 11-10 in thrilling fashion over the Lafayette Aviators. A comeback win after trailing 8-2. They had dug themselves quite a hole, but dug themselves out of it. But they're looking to string a few wins together and get back in this race. We'll step aside. We'll have first pitch right after this at Danville Stadium between the Decatur Beanballers and the Danville Dans. that has a red and white D logo on it. Meanwhile, the Beanballers are in their traveling navy blue uniforms, gray pants with navy blue helmets, cyan caps with a navy. Abernathy to the plate. Hoffa kicks and deals, and we're underway. First pitch misses low for ball one, 6:37. First pitch in Danville. Abernathy went 1 for 4 in that win against Lafayette. Takes another pitch downstairs. It's 2-0. Stole a base. All 3. A nice 3-1 count for Abernathy. So now it'll be Will Applegate to the plate, the second stretch. Takes a check at Abernathy, but not quite in time as Abernathy slides in safely past the tag of Nicholas. Abernathy slides in safely past the tag of Nicholas Sidam, the first baseman. Applegate takes upstairs. And he's reached base in all but 2 of the games he's played in so far. Coming off a pair of 2-hit games, both of which he also had a double in. Hoffa takes another check, but Abernathy's back in time. And the strikeouts have also been cut down at the plate for Applegate. He struck out 9 times in his first 6 games, but only once in the last 2. Starting to put the ball in play and reap the benefits of it. 1-2's way. Starting to put the ball in play and reap the benefits of it. 1-2's way upstairs.
And Hoffa had so much success against the Beanballers back on that June 19th start. He had those 6 hits, but again, no walks. He's already walked 1. Now he's had a long battle, and that's what you want to see from Decatur. You want to work his pitch count. He hasn't pitched in 10 days, so you're trying to attack him, see if he has any rust that he's trying to knock off, and if he makes a mistake, you're ready to swing in there.
Hoffa takes a peek at first, deals home. Breaking ball fouled off to the left, and it tails out a play. So we talked about Brandon Abernathy's ability to foul off. Several pitches and work long at bats, but switch hitting Snitko and then Jackson Miller against the righty Hoffa. Another full count. Payoff pitch. Misses low and in, and the first 2 batters have walked for the Beanballers.
Yeah, just a great at-bat there from Applegate. He was down 0-2, but he fought off some tough pitches, laid off some junk from Hoffa, and this is the start you wanted from Decatur. Getting 2 guys on early. Back on Sunday, they put up 2 in the first inning. They ended up putting up a lot of runs late, but that was what the Beanballers had success early in the year. They were so good at scoring in the opening frame.
And you talked about, Truman, how Hoffa doesn't really walk too many guys as he now gets a visit from Basinger, his catcher, but at some point when batters are just fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch, you can't be perfect and throw strikes every time, and at some point you're just going to lose them if you don't have the strikeout stuff. And Hoffa, who had only given up 6 walks coming in from the left side against the righty Hoffa. Abernathy dances off second. Pitch home is downstairs for ball 1, and Snitko, you talk about that victory against Lafayette. A lot of that is thanks to him. Pitched the final 4 innings for Decatur, only gave up 2 runs. And also at the plate was just as impactful, a pair of doubles, both after he had entered the game on the mound. Originally started as the designated hitter, but did it from both sides. The 1-0 fired in for a strike. Those doubles were doubles number 7 and 8. He's now tied for second on the team. Jackson Miller also has 8. O'Neal Felice leads the pair with 9. The 1-1. Snitko swings and misses.
Yeah, fastball away to Snitko and just laid on the pitch there from Hoffa. And that's a pitch that just shortened up, go the other way to left field. That's where Jackson Snitko's at his best, is when it's an inside-out easy swing. We're seeing a lot of doubles to left center field.
Hoffa takes a deep breath. Looking for the first out still. 1-2 to the plate. Low and inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And it's not just that the Beanballers have the first 2 guys on, but there were full count walks, and in the case of Applegate, it was more than the minimum 6 pitches in a full count walk. So they've certainly run up the pitch count against Hoffa. The 5th pitch to Snitko. Swing and a miss. Snitko strikes out swinging, and there's the first out of the inning, first punch out for Hoffa of the day.
Yeah, just another pitch away to Snitko, and this time I felt like he was a little bit out on that front foot, and he was just out in front yet again of that pitch. But it's a nice sequence from Hoffa. After a couple pitches he spiked in the dirt, he finds that location. That's what the lefty's got to know in this lineup. Hoffa's probably going to work
fielder Jacob May, but nonetheless it's just a long strike 1. But for Miller, he himself, as many players did, he had a day against the Aviators last Sunday. He went 4 for 4, drove in 3, also had a sac fly, and it was 4 of the Beanballers' 15 hits on the day. 11 runs Decatur plated. They're looking to open the scoring early, 2 on, 1 out. The 0-1, instead, Hoffa bluffs back to second, and Abernathy scampers back in time. Certainly a bustling crowd here in Danville. They know how to pack the stands. Hoffa, another long look at Abernathy, who continues to inch more off, and the throw back is in time. Abernathy had gone just a little bit too far. Icarus had gone just a little bit too close to the sun, and Palmy snuck behind him and tagged him out, receiving the throw from Hoffa.
That's just a nice play there. It's the communication between Palmy, Hoffa, and Basinger. Basinger drops the glove when Hoffa looks back to home, so that's when Abernathy hops up, and that's when Palmy just sneaks behind him, and just yet another out made on the base pass by Decatur. It's been a constant theme this season.
So now 1 on, 2 out. The 0-2 to Miller. Ran into several outs. That could have changed the outcome of that one, but the 1-2 swung on and missed. A high fastball gets Miller for the second strikeout of the inning, and after a pair of walks, the Beanballers can't score. We go to the bottom of the first on the official YouTube channel for your Decatur Beanballers, still scoreless here in Danville. Game against the Rex, he pitched 3 1/3 innings, but got bounced. Game against the Rex, he pitched 3 1/3 innings, but got bounced around. 6 hits.
Up 6 hits, so if he can just attack the zone, gives Decatur the best chance.
3-1 misses upstairs, and May is on with a leadoff walk. So May, who joined the Dans for the second half. One of his first few games is scoring at the plate. Had 13 home runs. The 1-1 misses upstairs. And as the Beanballers saw from his glove back on June 30th, he sometimes can't quite make the routine plays, especially on a field like Danville Stadiums, but can make highlight reel plays. It's a full count, but ironically, that is what happened for the Aviators in the first inning on Sunday. They loaded the bases before they even got an out. Nonetheless, a sac fly is the only run they got in that inning. Payoff pitch. Downstairs, ball 4, and the bases are juiced full of Dans.
Yeah, that's especially problematic considering the only pitchers that Decatur has here with them in Danville are Bonstetter, Baron Odom, Caden Davis, and Theron Wiseman. Everyone else is a position player, and it's one of those things that you've got 7 games this week. You've got a doubleheader on Saturday. You're trying to save as much pitching as you can, and this is not the start you wanted if you were Bonstetter. You wanted to work quick and efficient, and you've done neither.
So now it's another Sunshine State native. Carson Brady to the plate. And sort of a worst-case scenario start for Decatur. Back-to-back games now that
ball down massively. Abernathy playing deep out there in center, 407 to deep, but takes him a long run, so 2 runs easily score, and then Palmy easily gets the third.
So now it's Nicholas Saddam to the plate. Runners on first and third. Bonstetter still looking for the first out of the game. First pitch to Saddam.
Turn into now 3 runs.
And it's something that maybe the first batter he was trying to be a little too perfect, and then as the first pitch to McReynolds is a breaking ball. For McReynolds, who's also a Florida native, comes from Bradenton, Florida. The 1-2's fouled back into the netting. McReynolds, through 110 at-bats this summer, is hitting .336 and has driven in 18 runs. Although to drive in his 19th, he would have to drive in himself, as the bases are now empty. And it appears kids in foul ground off to in right field have gotten a ball onto the field, so we need to collect that. Truman, were you ever a kid, were you throwing around a ball at a baseball game like this, or were you watching the game?
I was watching it.
1-2's line down the left field line, and it's a fair ball. A hit the other way for McReynolds. He's chugging into second. Grabowski.
I mean, it's very close to being a foul ball, but you'd like to see a pitch maybe low in the dirt or up.
Eastern Illinois University. The 1-0. Bays fouls it off to the right. Well out of play. Scoring in the top of the first. The Dans plate 3 runs. Check swing. The check down to first, no swing. So now it's 1 ball and 1. Hoffa has Grabowski. Hoffa from the windup. A deep breath at the man. 2 sit, grounds sharply to Palmy at short. Backhands, slips, tosses to first, and it gets by Saddam. Saddam picks it up, the toss to second, and Febriette slides in safely. They called time and said that Febriette would be gifted second base, but now he's shaken up on the play. Looked like an awkward slide, and now Febriette has his hands on his head, lying face down right at the second base bag.
That was a nice hustle play.
Hard dirt here at Danville Stadium, and the Dans grounds crew certainly did a good job to spray around water from a hose to make it a lot softer, but it might have been a little bit too soft as Palmy had trouble with his footing. Febriette had trouble with the slide. He's up now and receives water from Raul Gill out of the dugout. And now Gill trots back. For Weiss, he comes in. He comes in. Hitting 222 with the Beanballers through his first 8 games. His debut came back here at Danville Stadium on June 30th. Did have a hit. Also was hit by a pitch in his debut. That single was a bunt single, his first hit with the Beanballers. Hoffa peeks at Febriette, deals home. Weiss lines it sharply into left field, and it drops for a base hit Fabriette chugging hard, but gets a stop sign from Arroyo. He'll just go station to station, but there is the first hit for the Beanballers, who have runners at the corners with only one out.
Yeah, it's just a nice, easy swing from Weiss, inner half. That's just a pitch that Weiss deposits into left field. It's a hanging slider from Hoffa, and that's the aggressiveness you want to see. A mistake from Hoffa translates into a mistake that Chase Weiss capitalizes on, hoping that rubs off on the rest of this Decatur lineup.
And it's Gage Reynolds to the plate. 1 on, 1 out. Reynolds making his 15th start for the Beanballers. Come in hitting just .209. Hoffa from the stretch. The pitch, Reynolds lines it sharply, and that's into left field for another base hit. Back-to-back hits on back-to-back pitches, and the Beanballers get a run back.
Yeah, pretty much the same exact thing. Another pitch, inner half to Gage Reynolds. Another mistake from Hoffa. It's elevated near the belt. And that's just an easy swing from Gage Reynolds. That's something we hadn't seen out of him in a little bit. I felt like it was getting too hard for me. He was making hitting too hard, but that's just a simple, short.
3-1, Dans. First pitch, breaking ball, fools Newton. And it seems that the tying run at first. The 1-1. Another breaking ball, this one in the dirt, but Newton swings over the top of it.
That's a little fastball, slider, curveball combination from Hoffa. It's been 3 curveballs here to Newton. The first one he's out in front of. That was elevated, but now just the good 12-6 movement. It starts at about mid-thigh. That's going to end up in the dirt, and Newton just swung through it.
Peeks at Weiss. The 1-2. Newton hits sharply into right field, and that's down for a base hit. Weiss gets the wave, and the ball gets by Bays in right field. It'll go all the way to the wall. Reynolds to the plate. Newton into third. The throw in is not in time, and the Beanballers have tied this one.
Well, how about that? Jackson Newton, it's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, well, fooling everyone else. And then
the go-ahead run at third with only 1 out. Top of the order, Brandon Abernathy to the plate. Hoffa from the stretch. First pitch, another breaking ball just above the zone. 1 ball and no strikes.
And also put in for Hoffa, who'd been untouchable here at Danville Stadium. He came in 2-0, just 1 unearned run allowed in 14 innings. And he's already given up 3 runs in an inning and a third.
The 1-0 misses in the dirt. A nice pick at the plate by Basinger. But it's 2 balls and no strikes. Abernathy, who walked the first time halfway to his second free pass of the day. But for Decatur, it's been back-to-back-to-back hits after the E6 that Fabriette reached on, and we're all knotted up at 3. A deep breath from Hoffa. 2-0. Abernathy fouls back into the netting. A good fastball at the top of the zone. Other than Brady would have a play at first as Abernathy fouls one off to the right.
Probably got to stay over the ball. Sometimes you can get a little lazy when you're playing on turf and not have good fundamental fielding skills, but when you're playing on a dirt field, especially a historic dirt field like Danville Stadium, you got to keep your center of mass over the ball. You got to go and attack baseballs. On ground balls, you got to go and attack, and also know that you're not going to get as big of hops as you think you might. So you got to keep that glove low between the fastball and the curveball. Hitters, they're able to recognize the fastball. They might even be
4-3, 2 away now here on the top of the second.
And this now ties the most runs that Drake Hoffa has given up in a game. He gave up 4 runs back on June the 28th against the O'Fallon Hoots. That was in 3 innings. Well, he's done that, and now just an inning and 2/3. But again, credit the Beanballers. You got punched in the mouth, down 3-0, but you've responded, now putting up 4 runs, and the bat's starting to seemingly finally come alive.
Will Applegate to the plate, who also walked his first time. It's one of 2 walks that Hoffa gave out to start the game off. Base hit. 0-1 misses downstairs to Applegate, much to the delight of Truman, Griessel, and I.
Well, and to Moises Fabriette, he's the one who gets the hit, and that raises his batting average instead of
the bottom. Second inning of work, and he'll look for a lot more clean of an inning than the first. First pitch to Basinger, breaking ball in the dirt, blocked by Reynolds.
Well, the first inning and a half have almost taken an hour to play, so we're in it for the long haul here in Danville, but especially after your team just put up 4 runs, a 0 would be much needed.
1-0 hit high in the air in foul ground off to the left. Weiss near the Dan's dugout reaches back and makes the catch. Overcompensate a little bit with his path, but nonetheless he adjusts and makes the catch for out number 1.
Yeah, nice job from Weiss. He looks up, readies himself on the field, hears his feet hit the warning track that rounds the entire field, knows he's near the dugout, and then almost overruns it. Yeah, just a bunt that the barrel drops and where the knob was above the barrel, and that's where you get in trouble trying to bunt. That's where you're probably going to pop it up, and he was trying to go with a push bunt because Jackson Snitko playing back at first base, so I like the idea. The execution not up to par, though.
First pitch to Jacob May is inside for ball 1. May walked and came around to score the opening run of the ball game on a 2-run single. It was the first of 2 runs on the single from Brady. The 1-0, May fouls back into the screen, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Don't want to allow the Dans to linger around in at-bats.
1-2, May takes upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And it's difficult, though, for Bonstetter because May is a very tough out to get. He's walked 7 times, only struck out 5 times through his first 43 at-bats. He's hitting .395. 2-2 is inside, ball. Payoff pitch from Bonstetter. May takes upstairs. He's walked for the 2nd time today, and the Dans have a 2-out base runner.
That's just a patient at bat from May, and it was a couple of just slight misses from Bonstetter, but May, a disciplined hitter, doesn't swing at any of them, doesn't chase them, and now instead of a 1-2-3 inning, you have a chance to really do something, and you're leaving the door open for the Dans, possibly tie this game up here in the 2nd.
So Cameron Gross, the Dans manager, is going to have a chat with the trio. Palmy, who's on deck, Burke, who's at the play, and May, who is on first base. As the home plate umpire ends that visit. Everyone back to their spots. Bonstetter now into the stretch. Beanballer's just looking for out number 3. Bonstetter deals. Breaking ball drops in there. Started off ahead of May 1-2. Started off ahead of May 1-2. Lost him on a walk. Started off ahead of Burke 1-2. It's now 2-2. A 2-2 pitch. Just above the zone. A 2-2 pitch. Just above the zone. Bonstetter didn't like.
Have a force out at second, so you're going to have to throw across. Have a force out at second, so you're going to have to throw across if Burke puts this ball on the ground.
Burke, a right-handed bat in between the lefties. Runner goes. Burke crunches this one deep to center field. Abernathy ranges back. He's at the track, and he can't catch it. It's off his glove. May's around to score. Burke wants the 3. The throw into Applegate. Throw to Weiss at third is not in time. It's an RBI triple for Will Burke, and we're It's an RBI triple for Will Burke, and we're all knotted up at.
Gives up the triple. Jackson Snitko leads off the Beanballers half of the 3rd against the new pitcher on the mound for Danville. Sam MacArthur takes over after just 2 innings from Drake Hoffa. First pitch, MacArthur high and away to Snitko, and by far Drake Hoffa's shortest outing of the summer. He gives up 4 runs on 4 hits. Only goes 2 innings with 2 straight balls and no strikes now on Snitko.
Yeah, MacArthur Had a very strong start to the season, was an all-star for the Dans, and really only gave up 2 earned runs through his first 6 outings, but his last one back on July 2nd gave up 5 runs on 5 hits, rather 6 runs, 5 earned on 5 hits in just 2 innings against the Champion City Half-Tracks.
That's a 4-pitch walk issued to MacArthur, the Champaign, Illinois native.
But then would just leave pitches right down the middle for the next guy. Now
For strike 1. Grabowski grounded out to the pitcher to begin the 2nd inning before the Beanballers ended up putting up 4 runs. The 0-1 pitch. Pitch for MacArthur. At the knees, in there for strike 2. Of 2-strike hitting from Brady Grabowski. He's got his 4th hit of the year. And the Beanballers keep hitting here in the 3rd.
Yeah, this is a 1-2 breaking ball.
First pitch for MacArthur, way out in front of a slider. Grounds it foul outside of 3rd for strike 1. 1 for MacArthur, outside, 1-1. 1 for MacArthur, outside, 1-1. February had one of his best weeks with Decatur in the shortened week out of the All-Star break. Went 6 for 17 with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. It was a season high in terms of hits in a week. Checks on Grabowski. Now delivers. Break.
Yeah, just a good at-bat from February. Seemed that when he joined the Beanballers, he was just a little too aggressive at the plate. Didn't let too much come to him and would often chase a lot of breaking balls low and away. Lays off a few of those. Would often chase a lot of breaking balls low and away. Lays off a few of those. Lays off a breaking ball inside. And
1-0 upstairs to Weiss, 2-0. Reynolds looming on deck.
Yeah,
But he starts this week off strong. League low, 264 hits to opponent. For strike 1. He singled through the left side his first time up, drove in a run. It was his 5th RBI of the year. He's now got 10 hits on the season.
going to do some damage.
He got his first hit of the season in his first at-bat. He takes a strike at the belt. 0-1. His single to right on a 1-2 count on a nice piece of hitting. Curveball at the knees, golfed it out to right. He then got around to 3rd. His 4 Beanballers. And it's already Brandon Abernathy batting for the 3rd time in as many innings. First pitch to him, fastball in the outer half, catches the outside corner for strike 1. High 36 hits on a team high 130 at-bats. He's got Weiss on 3rd, Newton on 2nd. 1 out in the inning. 2-1 slider, misses off the plate. 3 balls and a strike now on Abernathy with Will Applegate on deck.
Yeah, MacArthur's been trying to throw this breaking ball for a strike, but it's been just below the zone. And
4 runs already home in the inning for Decatur on 2 hits. And it's now 9 for Decatur.
yeah, this is a sharply hit ground ball, but it's not to Brady at 3rd.
Everyone in Decatur's lineup has now come to bat here in the 3rd. Applegate is the 9th batter of the inning. Jackson Newton did not advance on the ground ball, so he still stays at 2nd. Will Applegate still hitless here today. He does have 5 runs batted in on the season. Pitch for MacArthur. Swung on and fouled off 3rd base side.
Hits, but it seems like every single one of them have just been blistered off the bat. And that's really what you got to do here to get base hits. The grass really slows the ball down, but nonetheless, Decatur has gotten a lot of sharp contact, a lot of base hits, and a lot of runs because of it.
The 1-2 to Applegate. Grounded to first, but fouled barely. Bouncing over the bag down the right field line, but Applegate will head back in the box and will do it again 1-2 against MacArthur.
But it's not just the
MacArthur's been trying to hammer Applegate inside, but he's been spoiling every pitch thus far.
The first 1-2 was a breaking ball. Applegate still got good wood to it. So the next one, MacArthur goes even more inside, but Applegate still gets a piece of it. Nearly broke his bat with that one, really jammed him, but nonetheless he got it around to it.
Infield is shaded, Applegate around to pull. Nick Palmy a couple steps to the left.
Not swinging at pitches that aren't strikes, but when they are,
Payoff pitch to Applegate. Payoff pitch to Applegate. Swung on and long look to second. Another 3-2. Line down the right field line. Foul. You know, certainly even if Will Applegate does not get on, he has to hype up his team with the battle he is putting up against Sam MacArthur.
yeah, it's been a shaky inning.
Eyeing away again to Snitko. 2 balls and no strikes.
And that's how MacArthur started off Snitko to lead off this inning, which seems like eons ago. It was a 4-pitch walk, and that really just started the damage for Decatur, who hasn't quite finished it yet.
It's now the most runs Decatur has scored against the Dans in a game this year, and they still have a lot of more innings to hit in. A 3-1. Fouled off down the left field line.
Yeah, it's interesting, Truman. We talked about how long it took us to get through the first inning.
1 pitch away, though. 3-2 runners will be on the move.
Spent plenty of time in the dugout and not on the mound. You only stay hot for so long. But Pata missed.
Miller, this is just his second start against Danville here this summer. Arguably his